Hey guys, wooootles here, and I'm back with another overview video. And this one is going to be about my green southern townhouse, my follow-up to the blue southern townhouse. And this video is going to be a little bit shorter than the blue southern townhouse, because as you can see here, it's very similar to that building. In fact, I would wager it's about 90% similar. And the long story short is I just followed my instructions with the blue southern townhouse, changed out a few things on the exterior, most notably the color, obviously. The first thing I want to address is, yes, I do have instructions for this. It's available on Rebrickable, and yes, it is a lower price than the blue southern townhouse. There is no interior to this house, so the instructions have a little less steps. There's less pieces to this build, but it still looks great from the outside, I think. So yes, check out the instructions for this. I really appreciate it. It will help me in my hobby. I'll put the link to the instructions at the very top of the description. Let's start with a general overview of this building. And for this, I'm gonna pull up the blue southern townhouse and put it right alongside. I think it's only appropriate. Both of these houses sitting on a 32 by 48 base plate, 24 by 24 floor area, same as the blue southern townhouse. Again, a lot of things are similar, almost an exact carbon copy. The driveway for the green southern townhouse, both the same width, 10 studs. The garage, same design. There's definitely a lot of similarities. Again, I would say 93% the same. But let's start talking about the differences. There are a few. This build has about 900 pieces less than the blue southern townhouse. Again, that's because it doesn't have any interior detail. The greenery that I have in front of the house. So for this one, I want it to be a little bit less flowery than the first house. So there's a little bit less color variation, but a lot more green. And I got a few unique pieces here. You got this bush piece, which I've used a lot in the past. And then I added a bunch of these plant pieces. Now this is the first time I've used these. I only found it during a pick-a-brick order, and I quite like it. They're pretty soft, but they latch onto the studs quite well. So yeah, I think I'm gonna order more of these for future projects. This is another plant piece that is new to me. Again, also something I picked up from my online pick-a-brick shopping, but I've seen other Instagram users, for example, start to use these a lot. So I stacked up a bunch here and here. Now the tree design is the same as the old one, which is from my Southern Villa MOC from a couple of years ago. So I didn't change that. Besides, they're all going to be the same street, so I want the same tree for each house. And one more thing, these little round plate pieces that are supposed to be like small plants, they're a little bit darker than what you would find on the blue southern townhouse. Here's the back view, and even though the main structure between the two is very similar, you got some differences here in the backyard. Again, on the green southern townhouse, much simpler. I have more of the bushes and the soft plant pieces. Obviously more straightforward than the ones I have on the blue southern townhouse, with an actual flower bed, some furniture, even variations on the color of the concrete. Again, like I said, I wanted to make it simple, so that's about as simple as you can get. I did leave out plates with studs here, and that's for people who buy the instructions and want to put their own furniture in. So yes, the plants, the flowers, the greenery, it's all different on the green southern townhouse. Before I start talking about the next major difference, I want to point out that it still has the HVAC unit. Slightly different color because I'm just using leftover hubcaps from some of my car builds. The other major difference is the stonework. Let me remove the tree temporarily so you guys can see better. I want to remind you, this is what it looked like on the blue southern townhouse, so I just used a bunch of different colored 1x2 plates and stacked them as such. On the green southern townhouse, it's both more and less complex, and I'll tell you why. For one, it's less complex because it's just one color, it's just dark gray. On the other hand, on the blue building, I just stacked a bunch of 1x2 plates. Here I had to use snot, so I used a bunch of 1x2 dark gray tiles to make it work, and also I used a bunch of these pieces instead of your standard snot brick. I use that so I can more easily line up the first and second floor brickwork, as you can see right here. If I had used standard snot bricks like these, I'm gonna have a bit of a harder time lining up these two floors. Another difference here, maybe not as major, is the roof piece on the third floor. Again, just a little bit of a trim difference to differentiate between the two. Another minor difference between the two, the windows here and here. The windows here are a little bit bigger than the ones on the blue house. But to be honest, the real explanation is I ran out of 1x2x2 windows here. And aside from those minor differences, the third and fourth floors are basically identical. Now looking at the interior of the house, like I said earlier, it's pretty empty. I basically removed everything, even the tiling for the first floor. The water heaters removed, the washer dryer, everything. Except for this rack over here. I think it's kind of cool, so I kept it in there. And I kept the snot bricks here, just in case other potential builders want to put something in there, maybe put their own water tank design. Again, it's the same with the second and third floor. Like in here, there are studs where the cabinet usually goes. By the way, I did put tiles in here. I also did it for the first set of stairs. And that's more for structural reasons than anything. By the way, here's a quick comparison between the blue Southern Townhouse and the green. As you can see, the blue actually has 3 different rooms. My goal for the green is to have a completely open and empty interior. And that is so I or someone else who buys the instructions can completely configure this floor the way they want. Just as a potential idea, instead of having one bedroom here, you can have a loft with just a small bathroom in the corner here. And here's the fourth floor, the roof module. And other than this minor difference that I talked about earlier, it's pretty much the same as the Blue Southern Townhouses. And just to point out the similarities of these two houses, here they are with their modules interchanged. And I don't know, if you kind of blur your eyes or maybe colorblind, the sand blue and the sand green kind of look like they're the same shade. So from afar, they look like identical houses. One more thing I want to show you guys before I close out this video is my complete collection of my southern style houses. Here they all are. You got the southern villa, which I did 2 years ago. And then you got the green and blue southern townhouse on the right. I think they all go well together. I definitely want to do more houses of this style and architecture. But I have a little issue here, which is I'm running out of space. Basically, my southern villa sits in my bathroom, and then my blue southern townhouse basically just moves around whenever I need to free up a space, a table or something. And I imagine this greenhouse is going to be the same way. But who knows, maybe I can take care of real life issues and finally move to a bigger place. And maybe I'll have space for 2 massive Lego layouts, city and suburban. Stay tuned. That is it for this video. If you guys like the green southern townhouse, maybe you can check out the instructions. Or you can just give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. Again, thanks for watching guys. Peace.